to him was his godliness. I mean, godliness is attractive because you know as a Christian woman what you're looking for in a Christian man and vice versa. And so I would say that it was really accurate. From day one, we knew that this relationship that was being developed was more than about just him and I. It was about the work of the Lord that he wanted done through us. It was us becoming one in a marriage eventually, and what that would look like, not only for our children, but for ministry in and of itself. And so I'm grateful since day one it's centered around that. The Lord's been good to us. But it is so true. When you have a greater goal than just the other person's happiness, you see God's grace in such a unique way, because then that's when the Lord is able to say, okay, I am filling up myself, I'm filling up your husband to meet your needs, but not only that, to extend the grace that I've given to you guys, to other couples, to the community, to your children's friends as well. And it's so funny because, you know, we try to host people at our home for dinner quite often, and it's like you know, those moments you're tempted to just like, you just want to get in that argument, but you know you're hosting someone later that night. So what are you going to do? You're just going to argue and put your boxing gloves on, and then the doorbell rings, and it's like, hi, welcome, come on in. I mean, we all know what that temptation is like, to put that face on, to put that mask on. And so our goal is always to let's be genuine. Let's work out our issues if we're having one during that day, because we can't do ministry if there's a problem here. There's no way you guys can come to our house and be blessed and be fed and be nourished by the word and by genuine fellowship if there's something wrong here. So since day one, that's always been our goal, and I think it's helped us even with conflict resolution, problem solving. Like, okay, we're going out in this world today, we're going to be doing ministry to whoever, whether it's just someone at the grocery store. But if I'm having an issue with my husband, there's no way I'm thinking about sharing the gospel. There's no way I'm thinking about trying to serve someone else, because I'm just like so mad at him or so consumed in my own sin. And so, yeah, that's an encouragement, just to have those goals beyond yourself and beyond your marriage for the glory of God.
And we're still working this out. I mean, one of the things that we just, you know, the key is just setting simple goals. You know, setting simple goals in your life, okay? You know, you're not going to reach the world for Christ, you individually, you know, but when we all do our parts, we're going to reach the world for Christ. And so when the eyes do the eyes job, and when the arms do the arms job, and when the hands do the hands job, then we're going to do our parts, and we're going to reach the world for Christ. So a lot of it is just having simple goals. One of the things that we just started implementing recently was every other week. We know your limitations. We can't do it every week. Otherwise, there's going to be a bloodbath on our hands, just with the stress, you know, up with us. And so know your limitations, but every other week, you know, we'll invite a couple over our house. And she goes all out. I mean, and that's another reason why we can't do it every week, because she's consumed with that all day long. It has to be perfect, which is amazing on her part. You know, everything has to be perfect. The house has to be perfect. You know, she spends half the day cooking and cleaning. And so, you know, every other week we've decided that one of the ways we are going to advance the kingdom and to disciple, to influence others, is by inviting one couple every other week over our house. So it's just simple things like that, you know, resolving that you and your spouse do together. That will just be a blessing. You know, marriage is hard. Marriage is the hardest thing in my life. I go to work. I go to the courthouse, the DMV, I get cursed at, I get spit on, whatever. I get ridiculed. I look at those people. To be honest with you, it's pretty easy for me to look at them and say, God bless you, and just walk on. I go from there to ministry. I do visitations. I visit people sick. I drive to people's homes. I pray for people. I teach in various avenues and preach, jails and so on. Let me tell you something. That is recess compared to when I get That's when the work starts. Now, don't get me wrong. That's not to say anything negative on her. She is the greatest gift that God has given me. That is negative on me because I am so selfish. And when I'm preaching in the courthouse, I know I'm going to be out of here in a half hour. And when I'm visiting somebody in the hospital, I know I'm here for about an hour tops. And then I'm leaving. When I come home, it's selflessness 24/7. And since I am by nature so selfish, it makes it hard. It makes it hard. But in the greatest sacrifice and selflessness, we know, being Christians, that's when the greatest joy comes. So you want to say something about that?
There's this saying regarding marriage that it's easy when two become one. The hard part is deciding which one you're going to be. The husband has his needs, his selfish desires. The wife does as well. And so it's the merging of the two, the compromising, the sacrificing, the selflessness, and really balancing each other out. You know, I think we just have learned, and we're still learning, though, that when he's had a long day, I just need to give him some time. Just give him some space, you know, and that way he can rest, and then he can help me with the kids, putting them to bed, and I can kind of have a minute. So it's a constant juggling act, a constant balancing. It's not one gets all his needs, all his wishes, or the other. It's merging the two, becoming one that way, sacrificing, compromising. And so that's been a big, I think we learn every day how to do that. I don't think anyone masters that as a married couple. It's constantly changing and constantly evolving as well. And so when you have it on your mind to ministry, to sacrifice, you do look at your spouse as your greatest form of ministry. It's easy to say, oh, this is just our marriage, and then what we do at church, that's ministry, or what we do, you know, Wednesday nights, that's ministry. But the second he comes home, he is ministering to me, and likewise, I need to find ways to minister to him. So we're all called to ministry. Like he said earlier, we're all leaders in some form of another. We all have influence, and so our marriage is number one in doing that, and then that flows to our children and then out into the world.
All right. Yeah.